Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Annabelle Ivaya. I'm going to talk today as an intuitive mentor and astrologer about what's happening in the sky, how you might be feeling, what's going to occur in the next few days. We are in a very important reset time today. I don't know how you felt since the last couple of weeks or even since the beginning of the year 2026. It's been an intense ride, I think, for a lot of people that I know, a lot of purging, a lot of releasing, a lot of reviewing, a lot of ending the year of the snake in Chinese New Year. We are shifting today in the fire horse Chinese New Year, which is a lot more movement forward, a lot more authenticity and boldness, and there's a lot more to it. But that's kind of an energy that's been brewing because we've shed so much in the last year or so. In this energy of big new beginning, renewal, what are you calling in? If you want to put it in the comment. Wealth, friendship, love, travels, a new home, a new business idea, new creative projects, whatever calls onto you, put it in the comment, anchor what you're calling in. Because anyway, your higher self is already working in the background. You know what you want for this next part of 2026. I think all of the shedding we've been experiencing was telling us what we did not want in our life anymore. It doesn't feel very comfortable. I've been shedding for a few years. I'm so happy that Saturn has moved out of Pisces. In my chart, it's been quite intense. And for all of us, those shifts will be happening in different ways. So if you want to have a reading and see what that's going to look like for the next transit ahead, the link will be below. So today also is a very important day because we have the first eclipse in the Aquarius Leo axis. So when you look at the natal charts, they always have an opposite energy. So right now we have today an eclipse. It's a solar annular eclipse. If you were in the very south of South America or South Africa, you might have seen the beautiful circle of fire around the sun because of the moon, the new moon that was happening in this eclipse. Most of humanity will not have seen it, but we have felt it. I think most of us will have felt it. It happened east coast of Canada and the States, I would say about 7 a.m. And then, so you can add hours depending where you were. So different parts of the earth would have had this pivotal point. When I remember being in Mexico and experiencing a solar eclipse. I was in Ajijic, close to Lake Chapala at that time, and I remember how the energy kind of disappeared. There's like no more noise. It was so silent. It felt weird because in Mexico it's quite noisy most of the time, and it just felt like time had paused. So if you felt that, let me know. I was asleep, yes and no, because I think I woke up a few times, but yeah, that's kind of the reset point. And for some people, some astrologers will say that when we have a solar eclipse, what is eclipsed is the identity, the sun, right? The identity, the ego, the core of humanity, because it's everyone has experienced it. So sometimes we could have felt that some people were maybe acting out of character right now in the last few days or in the next few days. Just know it will all come back in alignment. I made a post yesterday to explain everything that was happening, and I was really anchoring into, like, I know some people because I'm in a few astrological groups now because an astrologer, and I see people kind of being anxious about transits, and I want to tell you, you always have guides supporting you. You have your higher self looking after you. There's nothing that happens that hasn't been planned in your soul's path. So don't be afraid of transit. I had intense transit, but they made me who I am. And I wouldn't go back in time to remove all of this because I know that now I'm connecting to the purest part of who I am. So that's what's going to happen to you if you, quote unquote, have a harder or more difficult transit happening. So again, if you need more support, you let me know. So this is happening at a 28th degree of Aquarius. This is almost the 29th when you look at it on the map. So it's on the natal chart of the planet. But what you can see is that this is ending cycles. There's been a lot of like energies in that latest degree. We've had lots of movement in the outer planets as well. So knowing that this is a time of change. This new moon solar annular eclipse is squaring the Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is completing its travel through the sign of Taurus. So it's until the month of April. So we will see things shifting in this area of your life, as well as the axis of Aquarius and Leo, because this summer the nodes, the lunar nodes, will shift into the axis north node Aquarius, south node Leo. North node is where we're heading right now. It's in Pisces, and if you don't know about lunar nodes, these are the only ones that go they go clockwise instead of going counterclockwise like all of the other planets around the chart. So you will see things completing, things shifting. Maybe you'll have sudden shifts. And in modern astrology, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So there's a beautiful alignment there, even if it's a square, which is, seen as a hard aspect. It's just that what it wants to do, what Uranus wants to do, I'll talk about Pluto later, but Uranus is, I want you to be totally uniquely who you are. I'm going to remove the layers that are not truly you. And if you don't do it yourself, because, you receive messages from your higher self, your guides, and you have events, and you keep doing the same old thing over and over again, I might shake things up for you. So sometimes people will have things that are very sudden and they couldn't actually prepare for because of that. But that happens to everyone. And we can't know that this is exactly what's going to happen. But remember, like everything, even if you take your life and you don't even connect to astrology, you know that if you keep doing the same old thing, expecting something different, life is going to bring you in a different direction so that you open your awareness and that you explore something new. Right? I hope that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. Put change in the comments if you feel that there's change coming for you. I have a lot of Uranian energy in my chart, and I actually thrive more when there's change than when it's kind of settled too much. So if you want help with managing these changing times, you let me know again. Today also, which is super beautiful, it's also linked, all of that is all linked together, right? We have the North Node that's still in Pisces until a few months more. And Venus is touching this part of our sky right now today. This means that Venus is a very benefic planet. It's the planet of love and self-worth and beauty. And she wants to bring that into our collective North Node in Pisces of spirituality, connecting to each other from the heart, having a connection with our spiritual life. And now with the other trends, that it's not just about being floaty, it's really about how can you embody something that's going to make things materialize in your world. Why am I talking about this? So we had last weekend the movement of Saturn out of Pisces, which I was very happy about. And this means that the energy of spiritual life, the energy of being connected to one's, higher self, and all of the practices we learned, they need to be embodied. They need to have a practicality to them, like less escapism, more groundedness. That's what Saturn does. Also maturity, mastering this part of our sky. That's what the 3-year transit was for. Now it has entered Aries. Aries is bold, it's excited, it's fire, you know. I put some more of these colors with me today because that's actually the energies that we have. The energies of connecting in with the fire of the Fire Horse new Chinese year, the fire in you, the fire of your soul, the fire of your projects, the fire of your passions. But instead of having like a big fire that just you know, extinguish very quickly, we want to create something. That's what Saturn will do in Aries for the next 2.5 years. It will come and just help us materialize things. I know Saturn doesn't have always the best, you know, description because it's one of the malefic with Mars, but remembering it's like the wise old man of the zodiac. It wants you to materialize things so that things shift and stay in your foundations stronger. Not just like, oh, I have ideas, but it's floaty and it's not actually materializing. So that's gonna be like I think a movement forward of this anchor that we have to build something new for ourselves. Let me know if that makes sense. My nose is itchy. It's colder here and on Vancouver Island. We've had not so much snow, but it's been a bit colder. Yeah, tomorrow on the 18th, when I'm recording this, 18th of February, we also have Pisces, the sun entering the sign of Pisces. That means that this week, if you're feeling more emotional, more creative, more intuitive, that's all of these planets, because Mercury is already there, Venus is already there, North Node is already being in place for quite a bit. Now the sun is entering there. Every time we have lots of the planets and a lot of planets in one sign, that means that this is kind of highlighted in our life or in our inner world. At some point on the 26th, we will have Mercury retrograde. That means it will stay in Pisces. So that will be more moving inside of ourselves and reflecting on the themes that were linked to Pisces in your chart. If you want to know more, I do have a link below for a webinar that is called Intro to Astrology. Click on the link and check it out. You'll have all the information that you need in this webinar to understand how to see where things are in your chart. On the 20th is a big day. I will have a healing session in my group on Facebook. If you want to join that, the link will be below as well. We will be having, for the first time in 6,000 years, I heard, the conjunction is at the exact 0 degrees. We had Saturn and Neptune in Aries every 30 years, but at the very start of the zodiac, at the 0 degrees, it's been 6,000 years. So I don't think none of us remember what it could create. So this is a potent time of reignition. And it's a reignition that's mature because Saturn brings maturity. And Neptune is like, dream big and we're going to materialize it together. Because Neptune, yes, it dissolves and sometimes it can feel confusing. I know for me, there's been kind of a few years of transits with Neptune that were very confusing. I didn't know. I was kind of confused in many areas of my life. And then when those two planets come, they bring the earthy side of Saturn, the masculine energy of creation, with the feminine creative energy of imagination and dream. So I think it's beautiful. I have no idea what that's going to do for a whole of the planet, but if you want to know what it's going to be touching in your life, where this transit, the transit of Saturn is for 2.5 years more, and then Neptune is 14 years long. So if you want to look at that, again, you will be able to do that in the webinar, or just message me if you want to have more information about this. So this is a big week of renewal. It's a big week to remember who you are, what you came here to be, who you came here to be, what you came here to do as a mission on Earth. If you're watching this channel, you're already aware of your spiritual life. You might already know a lot of your spiritual gifts. I have new guides coming in, very galactic. I will offer something new very soon about that soon, so keep an eye out. But there is lots of support, and these changes in the planets, they allow us to channel more energies, remember more of who we are. So really tune in. This week is maybe not so much about like how many things you can do, more like how can I go back to myself. And if I need to cry because, I've felt grief about an identity, about a relationship, about a situation, circumstance, whatever it has been happening for you, do so. And then you'll see that's going to create more space for the new to come in. There's so much new energy that wants to come in, but it needs space and it needs to be anchored. I have been feeling since, well, we had a stellium of many planets in Aquarius. For me, because I'm very sensitive, I felt kind of a buzzy frequency. This eclipse is also buzzy frequency because there's a square with Uranus, as I was saying earlier. Uranus has become moving forward again, so that's also more electricity in the air, more intensity. Ground yourself. If you're feeling like the buzzing in your ears, your like heartbeat, like whatever is going on within your body, don't try to define it with like your mind. Your mind is not going to comprehend what's going to come in the next few years. I'm telling you that your mind is going to try to attach to old stories, old patterns. It might even try to bring you back to things that are not even good for you. So go back in, try to journal, use oracle cards, tarot cards, whatever it is that makes you stop and connect to yourself. Talking about cards, if you want to have access to these cards that I'm using, the link will be below here on this. So that's the card that I picked just right before I started the recording. Beneath the surface, which I think it's always like on point, right? You can't make it up. Today is a time to see beyond, to open your heart, to see life and your surroundings with a new and more expanded vision. Look at the the color of the cards, very earthy. And the fire also in the middle, your heart, the fire in you and all the fire that we have around us because of this new energy of the fire horse, the new eclipse and everything. So this message, I think, is on point because there are so many stories coming out to the surface, and it's just the beginning. And are those stories supporting your growth, or are they putting you more anxious? Anxiety is something that some of us will feel on and off. You are responsible for your energy. If you're feeling anxious, go outside, breathe, play with your pet, relax, meditate, touch a tree, whatever you can do, take a bath. And if that doesn't work, see if you're actually entertaining yourself with doom scroll, with news that are super negative. If you're actually giving your power away to all these things outside of yourself that are creating more hooks into your energy. We all understand how energy works. We are becoming, with these planets in the sign of Aries, we are becoming really the spiritual warrior that knows when to retract from conversations, when to speak up from a place of truth and alignment, when things are coherent, when things are misaligned and we need to shift, whether relationship, places of living, workplaces, whatever it is in your life. So it's not giving her power away anymore. It's not being the victim of her life anymore, which could have been a bit playing out with all of the healing we've done with the planets in Pisces. Pisces feels so much. There's a lot of trauma sometimes in some of us. And for me, I can definitely say there's been a lot of healing, a lot of bursts of old stories coming up and shadow to work through. But on the other side of it, how much more strong in my sense of self, how much more peace can I have with being me, even if I'm not liked by everyone? How much more of me allowing myself to dive into things that are super occult that I've always been driven to learn, because I don't care what people think anymore, because this is my path, and honoring that more and more every day. I'm not saying that it's always easy, because there are things, circumstances, and shifts, and that can actually bring me back to, okay, yeah, well, maybe this is safer than the path you're in, and I need always to kind of readjust my steering wheel so that I walk my path. So that's what you're being asked to do. Walk your beautiful path that is unique to you. And if you don't know what it is, reach out. I'll help you. We're going to channel things. We're going to heal the parts of you together, just holding space. What I do is not heal you. What I do is like holding space, bringing energy, but you need to be aligned. You need to know that you're worthy of not being in this darkness anymore, and allowing yourself to shine as who you are. Not putting mask because you think people are gonna like more the mask than you, who you are. It's not gonna work moving forward. We need to be super authentic, and it's sometimes scary. It takes courage to be authentic, because a lot, you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea, and maybe it's okay. Because sometimes we're a cup of tea of someone because we're actually modulating who we are so that they feel better. But no, who are you? Can you hold space for who you are? Can you be you? And remembering that your frequency, your message, your energy is what is needed on this planet, so that we can shift from the darkness and really embody this. There's so much beauty in the love that humans hold. When you look at your children, your pets, the people, the places that you love the most, those memories, how much warmth do you feel in your heart? That's what we're required of doing. How can I take care of me now? Aries is I am. So it's not about like helping everyone and being there with it for everyone and then not even having energy for herself. It's balanced. Saturn is going to say, be responsible. Yes, help others, because that's why we're here. When you can. And then when you can't and you need to replenish your battery, go and do that, right? So that's the whole spiritual mastery we're being required of doing. And again, Neptune this week is asking us to dream bigger. If you want to join this free healing session I'll be doing on Friday, you're welcome to join. The link will be below. I would love to see you in any of my containers or on one-on-one. Let me know if you need anything. And I will talk to you very soon. Have a beautiful, beautiful eclipse, a beautiful start of this firework, yeah, I guess so, Fire Horse Chinese year. And I'll talk to you very soon, beautiful souls. Bye.